Tired of guessing why your Amazon conversions are not higher? Your product description might be the culprit or the hero. If you want to turn browsers into buyers, you're going to want to stick around. What's going on, guys? John Aspinall, brand evangelist at PickFu. And if you're not familiar with PickFu, we're an online testing platform that lets you get instant feedback on your product images, product design, iterations, colors, listings, patterns, styles, pretty much everything. And not just that, but from real consumers that match your target audience. In just minutes, you can make data-driven decisions instead of relying on gut feelings or instinct. Today, we're diving deep into one of the more critical and crucial areas of your Amazon listing. That's your product description. We're going to cover today why it's essential, how to write compelling copy, and most importantly, how to test it with PickFu to make sure that it resonates with your target audience, the shoppers that are looking at your listings. And all this before it goes live, even after it's live to optimize it. So you're covered on both ends. So why is the description so critical? While images and titles grab your attention and the bullet points, well, they're going to give you some quick hints. The description is your real kind of core sales pitch. It's where you're answering lingering questions and you're persuading shoppers. Because if they've gotten below the fold where they're seeing your description, they want to know a little bit more and you got to sell them. A great description can definitely boost your conversion rate. And that's going to in turn boost your Amazon ranking in BSR or bestseller rank. All good things. So what makes a good Amazon product description? First, easy to read. Short sentences, well spaced out, clearly defined paragraphs, and yes, A+ content is definitely going to help. But even a standard description, if you don't have A+ content, needs to have a little bit of formatting and line breaks because no one wants to look at a wall of text. Second, clear benefits and key features. And yes, benefits first. It's always benefits before features. Shoppers need to know what's in it for me. Now let's get into a lightning round where we can really just throw some tips at you. Tip 1, strategic keywords. You can go right to Amazon and type in keywords and see what's coming up. Could also use really good tools like Smart Scout, Data Dive, Helium 10, Jungle Scout, just to name a few, which will help you with your keyword strategy and your keyword research. The goal is to find what your customers are searching for. And when you're using them, weave them in naturally. No keyword stuffing here. Focus on readability. This helps the consumers and shoppers when they purchase, and Amazon's algorithm likes that. They don't like keyword stuffing. Tip 2, benefits first. Remember, features tell and benefits, they sell. Here's an example of a feature. Our headphones have noise canceling technology. Now here's an example of the same thing, but as a benefit. Enjoy your music or calls without distraction, even in noisy environments, thanks to our advanced noise canceling technology. See the difference? Focus on solving problems, letting people live a happier, healthier, well-off life. Tip 3, clear and concise. Get to the point. Use strong verbs. Every word should count. No passive talk here. Tip 4, eye your competition. Quickly see what top sellers are doing in the space. How are they structuring theirs? Don't copy. Just observe and take note and apply where you can. Writing is one thing. Knowing it works is another. That's PickFu. Test your Amazon product description, A+ content, even compare against competitors, and get real audience shopper feedback fast, like really fast. Let's look at some examples. Okay, guys, so in this example, we're taking a look at a head-to-head poll. So it's a this or that, A or B. But if you notice over here, there's no images. We're looking at text. So if you were shopping on Amazon for kitchen scissors, which product description sounds better for you to purchase from? And we polled a small audience here, 15 people. You got back to us in 22 minutes. And these are all Amazon Prime subscribers. So it's interesting because the first one is an actual one that I pulled from this listing right here, which we'll take a look at in a second. So this was actually on their product detail page. I went to ChatGPT and I just took this and I said, hey, make this simpler and not as descriptive. It's pretty interesting that this was the winner over the very descriptive one. And the reason why is actually going to shock you. Because when you come down here, shorter and sweeter, the less reading I have to do, the better. Because it gets right to the point, helps me understand the value easily. Shorter description, brevity, shorter description. So this is a really good example of you don't need to say everything under the sun. Get right to the point because time is money when shopping on Amazon. And while you think that a lot of these are needed, when running it on PickFu, you'll notice that it's really not that necessary. And what you're doing is you're aiding in the customer experience and giving clear information to the customer when they're making that buying decision. Text-heavy stuff isn't always better, especially for things like SEO. Because if you take a look really closely, if you pause the screen, you can see that a lot of the words that were taken out aren't keywords that are like for SEO. It's handle with ease. No one's searching handle with ease. Making it very, very impactful, strong verbs, very, very concise seems to be the clear winner, at least on this example. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, guys, this was an interesting one. And again, 15 people in 20 minutes. If you were shopping on Amazon for kitchen scissors, remember we were doing a kitchen scissor example, which product description tells you the information you need to make your purchase? This is now a little bit different because now we're giving a little bit more context by showing the entire area of where someone's looking when they're actually making that decision on the product detail page. Prior, we were just showing an excerpt of some text. So from here, you could see this listing, which was second place on the left, does not have A+ content. They just have a product description. Versus the one on the right, that's the winner by almost a landslide, has A+ content. And what's happening is under these modules right here for the images, there's still a wall of text over here. But when you have images that coincide with what exactly is happening, use cases, it doesn't matter as much what the text is. And that's very, very clear from this. So when you're pairing them with images, people are generally going to look directly at the images and kind of not really look at the text. But when all you have is text, you have to really treat that text very, 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 very strategically, because if you're just putting sentences out there, they're not going to read them. Let's take a look at the responses here. Way more informative, better organized, and it has pictures. The layout design, the bold text paired with photos works well. It's informative. They're a visual learner. The copy is quite wordy. Although the copy is quite wordy, I find it better. I like that it includes images. So this is another example of if you have A+ content and you're physically showing in a visual what's happening over there, it seems that the copy doesn't matter as much. But when you don't have a visual, the copy matters a lot more. So in the previous one, we saw just text to text. People like the more concise one. But in this one, paired with the visual elements, they don't really care that it's long because they're getting the visual that they need to see exactly how to use it. So interesting. So different use cases, different things. If you don't have A+ content, the text is super important. So you want to be very concise and very clear. If you do have A+ content, make sure the images are good and that the keywords are there. But it seems like most folks are not reading that giant wall of text under the images because they're getting a lot of the information they need from the images. Let's take a look at one more. Okay, this was a cool one. I made sure to say in the polls, please do not focus on the brand itself, just the information. The reason I do that is because anytime you have a very large brand name, people often resonate with that because it's a staple in the house. So the winner over here is KitchenAid. The second place one over here is a random brand. And if you were shopping on Amazon for kitchen scissors, which product listing tells you the information you need to know to make your purchase? Again, I didn't zoom all the way in, but you could very easily click on this over here, pull it up, and zoom in if you wanted to. But again, most folks are not going to do that. So these are both A+. The difference here is this one over here is very graphic intensive A+. Versus this one is leaning into text very heavily. You could see this was the segment we saw previously. So when looking at this perspective, with limited copy that's written here, but making bold statements and bold claims and being very impactful compared to the wall of text, it was the clear winner. Let's take a look at the reasons. It's more concise without long paragraphs. I chose it because it's much clearer than the other one. I like this version more. It's visually appealing by having more graphics and less text. The overall layout and design is a bit cleaner. So this is just another example as to testing, because when we looked at it very, very, very closely under a microscope of just the text, you could see that the shorter text was the winner. But then when we peeled out and we saw another portion of it, that wasn't the winner because the images came into play and they didn't care about the wall of text. And then when we peeled out again with more images and more context, it's clear that the direct, concise descriptions on the images in the A+ proved to be better than the wall of text with the graphics involved as well. Always be testing. You never want to invest before you test. So many good examples as to why that's the case. Cool little hot tip. So this is one of the ones that we looked at in one of the first few examples. This listing over here does not have A+ content. This is an example of a listing without A+. So you can tell a listing that doesn't have A+ because it just shows the product description right here. No images, no graphs, no charts. It's just text. But you can format this. You can structure it in a way that it's easily readable instead of having these long run-on sentences. Compare that to something like this. This product here has premium A+ content. So this is higher in quality than standard A+ and twice as high quality compared to no A+. Here's the big difference with this one. When you're looking at premium A+ content, there is no written text. There is no description. There is no crawlable text on here. They're all on the images themselves. So when you're looking at this with premium A+, you still have a product description, but it's on the back end. It's not visible to the customer, but it is visible for SEO and for search. So take that into account as well when we talk about product descriptions and you're using something like premium A+ content. You want to parlay that quote unquote description to the text that's on your images, because that's really what's going to be seen by the customer. All right, to wrap it up, your Amazon product description is your powerhouse for conversions. Keep it readable, lead with benefits, use keywords wisely, and critically, test it with PickFu. Stop guessing and start making data-driven decisions. The insights from just 1 or 2 polls, like we just took a look at, can save you hours of frustration and thousands of dollars in poor decisions. Are you ready to optimize your product description? Head on over to PickFu.com. It's free to get set up. You could run your first poll today. If this guide was helpful, smash that like button. Subscribe to the PickFu channel for more Amazon selling wisdom, and make sure to hit that notification bell. It actually matters. Don't ask me why, but you want to get notified when we put out gold videos like this, right? Questions about writing product descriptions or even testing on PickFu? Drop it in the comments below. Our team will get back to you right away. Almost as fast as running a poll on PickFu. Thanks for watching. See you next time.